Yes. Yeah, because I'm sending the opposite. I'm sending. Yes. It's not normal, but that's what we got to go with right now. Yes. You on?
Come on.
Yep.
Okay, you got the stroller?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, give yourself a round of applause for being here. We're on a Mercury retrograde, and we are in the house. This is still June, and it's still Black Music Month. Say everybody. June is Black Music Month. June is Black Music Month. June is Black Music Month. Don't let them tell you different. You know what I'm talking about. Funny bad joke, don't let them tell you different. Okay? And June is your birthday, and let's do it. Let's get started. Rhythm is it business, business so is way. Rhythm is it business, and you sure can tell. All right, there. Okay, Mercury retrograde. We got me now. Look, I can feel myself now. Today is a special day. We honor the one and only James Melvin Lunceford, known as Jimmie Lunceford, the father of jazz music education, who started here in Memphis, Tennessee, the city of good old. And by honoring him, we're going to honor his living legacy, the great Memphis musicians that made their way out of this place into the world, amplifying that legacy for generations to come. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, but we're going to mix it up. You know, this is jazz. Anything can happen any given time. You live in the moment, you make it real, and you deal with it. To paraphrase Charlie Parker, whose father is from Memphis, by the way, he said, music is your life experiences. If you don't live your music, it won't come out your horn. So we have a lot of soul confession tonight, or today, give yourself a round of applause, soul confession. Think about church. Okay? So without further ado, I want to bring up one of our honorees. This is the homecoming court for the Jimmie Lunceford Jamboree Festival. We couldn't have our homecoming court last year because of the situations that we found ourselves in, but this too shall pass. And the righteous ancestors won't be denied their place. Jimmie Lunceford saying, y'all, come on with the show. We're gonna follow Sandman on. Okay, without further ado, we're gonna bring up somebody who was truly beyond category. Right? Talk about Charlie Parker. Memphis is known for his great hornman. Somebody like Miles Davis said in his book, he just had his birthday, who was a Gemini. He said, I don't know what they're doing in that one school to bring all these great musicians out. So George Coleman, Frank Strozen, Charles Lloyd, and the great Booker Little all hail from Manassas High School. But Jimmie Lunceford started jazz music education, being credited as the first person in the world to teach jazz studies in a formal educational setting. Give it up for North Memphis. North, Manassas, Lavelle. So, in that great horn tradition, we're going to honor the homecoming court prince of 2020, the one and only Dr. A.L.L, McKinney, the joyful minister, or the prime minister of joyful jazz. I'm sorry about the retrograde, no disrespect. But we're going to have his wonderful brother, very multi-talented brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am pleased to introduce gospel jazz saxophonist Dr. Alvin McKinney, known around the world as the Prime Minister of Joyful Jazz. Dr. Alvin McKinney is a virtual alto saxophonist, songwriter, composer, arranger, producer, and musical director. He started his musical journey playing drums at age 4. At age 12, he picked up his first saxophone. It became his first passion and the focus of his career aspirations in music. He attended and graduated from Overton High School of Performing and Creative Arts in 1983 under the late Merle Gartrell and Dr. Lula Hedgeman. He also attended the University of Memphis, where he studied classical saxophone under Professor of Saxophones, Mr. Alan Rippey. He performed with the marching band, jazz band, and won the Woodwind Concerto competition in 1986. He graduated in 1989 with a concentration in saxophone performance. He went on to study saxophone performance under world-renowned professor of saxophone, Donald Center, at the University of Michigan's master's program, where he taught jazz styles as a graduate assistant under Ed Serra. He received his doctorate in sacred music from the Global Evangelical Christian College and Seminary, incorporated in Alabama. Dr. McKinney is the co-pastor and minister of music for Redeemer Church of Christ, Power of God Ministries, and the CEO Prophetic Management and Entertainment. He produced the Joyful Jazz radio show at RMC Studios in Los Angeles. He's also please forgive me, he is also an artistic clinician for Jules Colworth Saxophones, the Buffet Group USA, and several other companies. Dr. McKinney taught music for 15 years and has performed with such notable greats as B.B. King, Louis Bellson, Clark Terry, Billy Preston, Kirk Whalum, Rufus and Carla Thomas, Ruby Wilson, Joyce Cobb, William Bell, David Longoria, Ellis Hall, the Friends of Fuller B. Gordy Strike Fest, the VOS Group in Beverly Hills, California. Turning the page. Okay. And regarding royalty, by official invitation of the king, he performed for Omanhene, or King, in Ghana, West Africa. Also, His Highness Prince Dr. Mario Max Zoo, mother's birthday in Los Feliz, California. In ministry, Dr. McKinney has ministered in music for Bishop Dr. George Dallas McKinney, Bishop Dr. Elder Lee, and Pastor Renata Ward, and many others. Dr. McKinney ministered with the praise and worship teams of Benny Hinn Ministries and was featured as an artist with Morris Cirillo, World Evangelism, and in Dubai for Pastor, I can't say this. It's an African pastor, just understand that, okay? I'm not gonna destroy the man's name today. Of International Gathering of Firebrand's Revival. Recognition in Barbados, he headlined and received the Face of Africa Ambassador of Human Rights Award from the International Gathering for Peace and Human Rights of Africa. He also received the Jazzifier Legends Living Award from the Memphis Black Arts Alliance, for which he is a board member, and so much more. And lastly, and most recently, performed his prayerful rendition of the national anthem at the FedEx Forum for the University of Memphis and the NBA Memphis Grizzlies. Also, the 2021 World Championship Los Angeles Lakers at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, California. He performed for President Reagan's second inaugural and at the White House in Washington, D.C., USA for President Barack Obama. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and give a warm welcome to the Prime Minister of Joyful Jazz, Dr. Alvin McKinney.
I'm going to greet you like I'm in church. Is that all right? Hallelujah. 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 God is good. Amen. I greet you in the name of our Lord and Savior Christ Jesus, Yeshua Mashiach, the Son of the living God's name. And on behalf of my wife and co-pastor who's not here today, she's in Mississippi visiting her two brothers. She sends her love and greetings. Hopefully she's watching today if she's not busy doing the Lord's work. I want to first of all thank the We All Be Group Incorporated, the proprietors being Queen Callie, but also King Ronald Hurt for inviting me to be a part of this most prestigious homing court. I'm honored to be here. I'm going to, if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to just praise the Lord right now with my new CD single release of Amazing Grace, the remix. And you can also find the video on YouTube. Once again, Amazing Grace remix, Dr. Al McKinney. Please feel free to sing along, clap your hands and tap your toes. But whatever you do, don't quench the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Give it up for the Prime Minister of a Joyful Jazz, the right Dr. Alvin McKinney. Doctor got to make some bread so he can get some bread. So we're going to do this right quick. I'm sorry, Doctor, for holding you up too long, but this is your well-deserved and overdue award for being a great man. This is the 2020 Jimmie Lunceford Legacy Award presented to the 2020 Jimmie Lunceford Jamboree Festival Homecoming Court Prince, brother Dr. Alvin McKinney, for a life dedicated to excellence in music and music education. And we love you madly, in the words of Great Duke Ellington. Thank you, sir. It's an honor, man. I'll speak. You want to speak? Come this way? Okay. I know you could. Oh, you could. Okay.
Thank you. The Queen has requested me to say something. All that I really feel in my heart right now is really gratitude. God is so awesome because even in the toughest times of life, he never leaves you. His love, his mercy, and grace endures forever. And sometimes God sends love in different places, different people. I'll be remiss if I didn't recognize my parents, Carla and Ruth McKinney. And by the grace of God, next month they'll be celebrating their 61st wedding anniversary. By the way, if you need good music, you can hear my dad play every Monday and Tuesday evening at the Peabody Hotel from 5 to 8. A little prop from my dad. My brother Paul, I don't call him my younger brother. He's a grown man now. I'm very proud of him. He's very accomplished in his own right. Plays multiple instruments. Still teaching at Stax Music Academy. And he's producing me now, so I'm just grateful to have you, and I thank you. I love you with all my life. To all of my family, fellow saxophonists, musicians, I'm going to go old school in the Bible, call it chief musicians. Congratulations to all of you. Thank you all for being here. Once again, I'm grateful to the Hurd family for just considering me. I'm grateful. God bless you all. Thank you.
All right, give yourselves a round of applause for being very patient. I'm gonna make a disclaimer. I can't claim all this badness is thanks to the second Mercury retrograde of the year. Y'all look up Mercury retrograde on your smartphones, and you'll understand what is happening. But people that's determined cannot be stopped, only by their own self and limited or lack of imagination. So we'll keep it moving. This is very powerful because we talk about Memphis as being anything but great. A lot of times you look at the local media and how we view ourselves. It never fails that I go anywhere across the country and I say I'm from Memphis and doors will open. And people expect great things from me everywhere but Memphis. They expect greatness. Because even you think about it, I don't know if a lot of y'all are rap or hip hop fans, but some of the top rappers in the country right now are from Memphis. The top rappers. I ain't talking about like these are guys that set the tone for everybody else. And I'm not saying that to say, but I'm saying it's something about Memphis. If I just told you that Charlie Parker Dead is from Memphis, it's something about this place, something about the water. That's why we gotta keep it pure. No pipeline here. But what I want to say, speaking of Memphis, you don't normally associate Memphis with jazz. Memphis is one of the most important jazz cities or meccas in the country. It's right up there. It's maybe more important than New Orleans. Why?
Well, why you say that, old guy, or gay or cat? Why you say it's more important than New Orleans, huh?
Well, hold on, Pops, with your red beans and rice self. I'll tell you why it may be more important, because if it was for your second wife, you wouldn't be
Satchmo.
Guess where his wife from? She's from Memphis. Lil Hardy Armstrong, born here February 3rd, 1898.
Yeah, Beale Street. Beale Street can talk.
So I'm gonna tell you about Pops, because we gotta reclaim our narrative. We gotta make this stuff accessible to the young people. Because you think that Louis Armstrong
came out the heavens and oh Lord, look at me, what the Lord has made.
Louis Armstrong came from a place called the Battlefield in New Orleans,
way back of town. He used to run that coal up there. Them ladies of the night give them coal. He used to work for Kanofskis and Russian Jews. They used to give me coal to get the ladies, and I used to get cold some nights. Baby, it's cold outside.
But seriously, Louis Armstrong met Lil Hardy Armstrong when she was the pianist for his mentor, or I like to call Jegna. instead of mentor. Y'all and look up the word mentor, okay? But I'll call him Jegna, King Oliver. One thing that Lewis was blessed, he always had people that advocated for him on his behalf when he didn't believe in himself wholly or fully. We didn't understand his purpose. So he was called from New Orleans up to Chicago to play for his Jegna, Papa Joe Oliver, King Oliver. And Lil Hardy, you can hear tapes of her talking about when she first met Lewis. It was nothing little about him but his clothes. He got bangs. He's so country, like the Carla Thomas song with Otis Redding. They got them shoes and all that, the program. Like that was Louis Armstrong coming out of New Orleans. The dude had bangs. You can look at pictures of him having bangs.
I like my lace fronts and all that stuff.
So she met Lewis. I was not impressed with him. She heard him play. Lewis actually was probably a better trumpet player than King Oliver, his Jegna, because when they would record, he'll have to stand 20 or 30 feet behind everybody else because he was so overbearing with his tone. I mean, he has a unique sound. And so King Oliver told Lil one day, you know what, Lil, that boy Louis better than me, but he'll never be over me because he don't believe in himself. See? So King Oliver had that pop out here, that little lazy, weird eye. Like he be looking that way, everybody be looking that way, be looking that way. Hey, I'm telling you, Lil, that boy better than me, but he don't believe in himself. See? I'm the one to be the king. And so Lil said, Lil's favorite trumpet player was actually from New Orleans. It wasn't Lewis at the time. It was Freddie Kepler. I don't know if you know who Freddie Kepler was. He was after Buddy Bolden because New Orleans had their fair share of trumpet kings. So it was King Kepler, and that was her favorite player. But she said, so Joe said that Louis better than him. I got to upgrade Louis. Them bands got to go. Them tight clothes got to go. His second wife got to go. And Louis was married to a prostitute at the time, Daisy Parker. So she used to throw bricks at his head. So
if Lewis was married to a prostitute, that made him a what? A very lucky man. Win a lottery every night. Jackpot.
So she was married too. So she got divorced. He got divorced. She gave King Oliver his walking papers and the power of Memphis. Because I tell you, that Memphis woman put them ideas in his head, sent him on to New York to play for the greatest jazz band at the time. What was the greatest jazz band of the time? Fletcher Henderson. Fletcher Henderson, who was at the Roseland Ballroom. They just closed down the Roseland Ballroom. Lady Gaga was the last act. I think it was like 2013. But he was holding it down. He set the blueprint for us to come and swing and big band. So Fletcher Henderson had Lewis in his band. And really, Lewis led sort of a revolution in the band because you also had in that band the great Coleman Hawkins, who is the king of saxophone. He is the father of jazz saxophone. But he started out on the cello. He was a classically trained cellist, whatever you call it. I think it's cellist, cello. But he heard Lewis, and guess who else was in that band? A brother from Memphis named Buster Bailey, one of the greatest early Dixieland clarinetists of his era. See, Louis Armstrong always had the look of running to Memphis cats, whether it be his woman or when he was in Chicago, he played at the Vendome Theater in the Erskine Tate Orchestra. And guess where Erskine Tate was from? He was from Memphis. Who he played for? W.C. Handy. Buster Bailey played for W.C. Handy. When Lewis came to New York to become the king of jazz trumpet or cornet, whatever you want to call it, who was the top trumpet player in New York City? A guy named Johnny Dunn. Where he's from? Who he played for in Memphis? W.C. Handy. He was from Florence, Alabama. So everywhere Lewis ran, he ran to these Memphis cats that upgraded his game. So he got married 2 more times. Lil was really the person, you could consider her the mother of modern American music, because she set up the most important recordings of American music history, as far as I'm concerned, the Hot 5 and Hot 7 recordings. That laid the foundation for modern American music. Louis Armstrong invented pop singing at them Hot 5 and Hot 7 recordings.
I got the heebie-jeebies over there, boy. Oh,
he invented that, because you may not like Louis singing, like Billy Eckstine, the great Billy Eckstine said, Louis is the greatest singer without a voice. But everybody you love, everybody was influenced by
Mr. Satchmo, Cowboy Pops. Yeah.
Everybody from Aretha Franklin to Billie Holiday, Frank Sinatra. Bing Crosby was a musicologist. He just studied everything Louis did. He laid the blueprint, but it was that black woman from Memphis that saw his potential before he could. She was like Michelangelo in that marble quarry. They could see the masterpiece before it was chiseled out the rock. So he owed a lot to Lil. He got married 2 more times, but when he died back in August, it was July 6, 1971, he died. He thought his birthday was July 4th, but he actually born August 4th, 1901. So he thought he was saying,
I didn't know when I was born. I just said, I'm patriotic. I'm 4th of July.
So he died, And Lil was allowed to ride in the family car, in limousine with his widow, Lucille, who used to be a former Cotton Club dancer. So she was in Chicago late August of 71 doing a Louis Armstrong tribute concert. She was playing the piano. I believe she had a massive heart attack while she was playing St. Louis blues for Louis. So she died, and but her contribution can never be denied. And I want to thank Lil Hardy Armstrong. We honored her back in 2019. But I want to tell y'all, since I got an audience, a captive audience, how important Memphis is to modern America. There will be no modern America without Memphis. You know, Holiday Inn was started where? FedEx. Tennessee Williams did his first play where? In Memphis. Somewhere, it's in Memphis though. Back in 1931, Richard Wright grew up in North Memphis. You think about Memphis had at one point the world's largest cargo airport. Now I think it's number 2 behind Hong Kong. So this is a distribution hub. It wasn't that long ago you was able to fly directly from Memphis to Europe, direct flight. Memphis is a distribution hub of the country. It's also cultural commerce. Everything runs through here. Like I go a little bit down, I guess 61 or whatever, go to Clarksdale. That town with less than 20,000 people produced the likes of Sam Cooke, Ike Turner, Rick Ross, lemon pepper. He make everything around with lemon pepper. I got that lemon pepper. Okay. He from Clarksdale. He ain't from Miami. He from Clarksdale. Nate Dogg, smoke weed every day. From Clarksdale. John Lee Hooker from Clarksdale. Muddy Waters from Coahoma County. Grew up around Clarksdale. Bessie Smith, the Empress of the Blues, died in Clarksdale. Robert Johnson, 61, the Crossroads. Yeah. Was it Kingfish? Okay, there you go. Oh yeah, Kingfish. That's the new one. That's the new young gun. I like Kingfish. But I'm saying, what are we doing in this part of the country to produce this type of talent? You know, Mississippi has more Grammy nominees and winners than any state in the union. You'd be surprised all the people connected to Mississippi. You think about Quincy Jones, he talking about, yeah, I'm a Chicago gangster. I was, you know, whatever. Your folks from Vicksburg, dude. Your folks from Vicksburg, Mississippi. I'm just saying, like, I say all this to say, since I'm up here, I don't know. I'm gonna bring up the other person. I'm gonna bring up, I see somebody I need to bring up right now. But sometimes you got to do this because, you know, things happen during a live show. So I make things run smoothly, appropriately. So without further ado, we're going to honor somebody who has claimed the Delta as her own. She is a wonderful person, very exceptional person, a griot, just a 5-tool player like Willie Mays, could do it all. Sing, could dance, could act, can write. And I know that the best is yet to come. That's why we honor her as the 2020 Jimmie Lunceford Jamboree Homecoming Court Festival Princess. I give to you all the one and only, without exception, with the help of her beautiful friend, to introduce her properly, because I'm just going all this stuff, this extra stuff right now, because I'm trying to figure out how the video's downloaded yet. So without further ado, give it up for the one and only Sister Carolyn Michael Banks to introduce the one and only Jackie Murray.
Great evening, everyone. No, I said great evening, everyone. Do we have to think back that far last year where we were on a day like? Great evening, everyone. I don't know about you, but I know my mama, who's no longer with us, I could hear her in my ear. She said, daughter, if you don't learn from what has happened, you will repeat it. I don't want to have to repeat 2020. So I'm trying to learn some stuff. And one of the things I've learned is to be grateful for every moment and every day. So one more time, great evening, everyone. But that's not my purpose here tonight. So I am here and I'm really honored to have the opportunity to introduce this woman who will be before you in a moment. But I also want to take a moment to thank Callie and Ron. These two people have had a mission to make sure we remember those who we should not forget. Please give them a round of applause. And the fact we are able to give flowers to our sister while she's still here is even more important. So thank you for that. And how I actually met Jackie was through an event that Ron and Callie put together about Fort Pillow. And we were given the opportunity to read the names of many of those fallen African-American soldiers. But the thing I want to talk to you about, and I do want to read a little bit about her bio because you need to know some stuff, and then I'm going to tell you what's not on paper, okay? So Miss Jackie Murray is a professional singer, songwriter, actress who has been on stage in several Memphis area theaters and throughout the Mid-South. She can also be seen in several local commercials and award-winning films. She is a teaching artist with the Tennessee Arts Commission and serves on the boards of the of the Tennessee Theater Association as professional artist representative, Mid-South Kwanzaa, and the Mid-South Black Family Film Festival. Miss Jackie penned her one-woman show, Harriet Tubman, One Woman's Journey, in 2012, and has performed it numerous times in Arkansas, Mississippi, and Tennessee for excited audiences, both young and old, as she tours to schools and universities. Her motto is, "Not pursuing your dreams is like being a bird that is afraid of heights." Now that's how deep the sister is, okay? And I just want to share with you what's not on her bio. And that is, this is a sister who walks in spirit. This is a sister who I can't tell you her personal business because that's not my place, but I'm telling you, she does not look like what she's been through. When you need an example to kind of look to when things are tough, and whenever I start to feel some kind of ways, I think of Miss Jackie. Because when the wall comes up to Miss Jackie says, "Okay, wall, I see you. Next." And she just like moves to the side. And that's the kind of people we need to be talking about. That's the kind of people who need to be on our conversation list. That's the kind of people I wish the news, is the news here? I don't know who you are back there. But this is the kind of woman that I would love to kind of lift up. And no, she's not from Memphis, but she was born in Wilmington, Delaware, and then was raised Eastern Shore, Maryland. Did I get that right? But she has embraced Memphis with all that she is. She is also a partner with me. I own a tour of possibilities. It's an African-American history tour of Memphis. And what she does with guests that take this tour is just phenomenal. And what I wanted to do was to just read you one review. There are a lot, can I say? But I do just want to read you what other people see, because sometimes it's hard. We don't see what's right in front of us. So let me do this real quick. This is from a guest who took a tour with Jackie. The title is, Exceeded Expectations. Miss Jackie is the gold standard of tour guides. I came away from a tour of possibilities with more knowledge, appreciation, and understanding of Black Memphis than I could have ever imagined. Miss Jackie is able to weave together storytelling, music, and song into a very entertaining and informative experience. As we drove around the city, Miss Jackie pointed out both the well-known sites like the Lorraine Motel to little-known areas like Reverend C.L. Franklin's home church, Black Beale Street, and the best barbecue and soul food cafes. Prompt pickup, a warm and gracious welcome combined with Miss Jackie's uncanny ability of making history come alive makes a tour of possibilities an experience you won't forget. That's a review. Now, you know how sometimes people leave reviews, they might put a star or two. No, this person, as many do, sat down to write this. That does not come easy. And I'll tell you, when I asked Jackie to join the team, as a business owner, that's always a chance you take. But I am so thankful to my God for putting you in my space, because I don't have children, so I have a business and a husband, and that's really all I want, Lord. But to be able to give that over to her, really, because once she's behind that wheel, she's on her own. And Jackie, I just have to thank you from the bottom of my heart, because our history is so rich and so important. And the way you're able to share it is the way it will make a difference. And you make a difference every day. So without further ado, please, Miss Jackie Murray.
Good evening, everyone. Okay, so this is going to be real easy now. Thank you very much. While I try to fight back tears. I want to thank you for that wonderful introduction. And the reason that I'm able to tell the stories is because you gave me the foundation to build upon. And all I do is just infuse what God has given me to make it come alive. And I'm glad that I can touch as many lives as I can through the art, the talent that God has given me. I don't take it lightly at all because he has given me a charge. And his charge is to save lives and also to change lives. As Miss Carolyn mentioned, we've been through a lot in this past year. And through that, we have seen some of our loved ones make it to the other side of this, and we are still in it. And some of us have not. We've seen this country erupt into violence and mayhem when we were supposed to be sitting at home in our quiet space. But the quiet space turned into change. And it's going to continue to change. And that's why I chose the song that I'm about to sing for you guys. Because we have a lot of work to do. And a change is going to come. And we have a sound guy that's supposed to start my music. There we go. And y'all can sing along if you want, because this is something, if you're an artist, we have to make sure that we're all involved in this change. I was born by the river in a little tent. Oh, and I, just like the river running, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know the change gonna come. I've been tired of living, but I'm afraid to die. But I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. I've been to the movies and I've been downtown, and someone's always telling me to not hang around. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. And I said, when I go to my brother and I say, brother, want me please? And I find that my brother is making me fall down on my knees. Oh, there are times when I thought I couldn't wait too long. Then I found out I can carry on. It's been a long, come on, y'all. Yeah, a long time coming, but I know change gon' come. Thank you.
Well, it's been a long time coming. I can't make this stuff up. Sister Jackie, you are a true treasure. You are a true, I know you're not from here, but you're from here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are a Memphis original. And I could not go back. I remember seeing her in a Harriet Tubman one-woman play at the Hollywood old location back in 2012. And you just knew she had that it. And sometimes it takes a lot of other people a long time to see that it in their presence. But people don't have the great discernment or the great judgment of character or talent or ability. But I know that you believe in yourself. And I know that you got the backing of the universe. So God and the righteous ancestors do approve of you. So we love you madly. And I did a special, you know, I do another logo, but I did for this exceptional year for exceptional people. Sister Jackie Murray, you are the 2020 Jimmie Lunceford Award honoree, presented also as the 2020 Jimmie Lunceford Jamboree Festival Homecoming for Princess for a life dedicated to excellence in music and music education. And we love you madly.
I want to say thank you, Brother Ron and Sister Callie. Why y'all giggling? I know, I understand. It has been a long time coming. I've just been so honored that you guys have asked me to help you to push all of your great projects forward, the ones that have been given to you, by God, Fort Pillow Massacre, even the Jimmie Lunceford Festival, and on and on and on. And I appreciate you guys so much. I also appreciate you, Miss Carolyn. Thank you so much for that wonderful introduction. And it is an honor also to work with you. And I want to also thank, my family members who couldn't make it here, like my son, my biggest support that I have found, in the family. So when I, needed to see that special smile in the audience, he was there, and let me tell you, my own son, who happens to be legally blind, when nobody else would stepped up to run my lights and my sound. There's nothing that God won't allow you to do if you don't, know where to start from. And he said, well, I'll be able to see something. Just make sure you always stay in the light. I'll be sure to see you. Right? So I just thank everyone who has been support while I've been out here and just reaching for my dreams, and not only just reaching for my dreams, but living my dreams. That's what Jimmie Lunceford stood for. He lived his dreams. So to be able to receive this honor is just unbelievable. And I appreciate you guys. Thank you, everyone.
Don't mind my foot. I have a hole in it, but I'm okay. Thank you, the honor. Can you turn this way? Oh, no, turn this way. Turn this way. Sister Jackie Murray, truly beyond category. Yeah, let me hurry this along. Yeah, I got a hole in my foot. I had one, now it's getting better. That's a good thing. I got my Wolverine powers working now, so it's good. I ain't gonna get into this. It's not about me, but talking about flying high and believing in yourself. Jimmie Lunceford was an aviation pioneer, by the way. He took flight lessons back in 1939, brought his first airplane back in 1940 for $20,000 back then, which would be the equivalent to about $400,000 today. So sometimes this dude would fly to his gigs. This was a black man that knew no limits. You understand? He believed in the community. He believed in investing in young people and also the elders. Like one of his plans was to start a retirement community for black musicians. When he died at the age of 45, see, Jimmie Lunceford went to school to Fisk University to study social work. He wanted to help black people, but he knew that music could be a way to build confidence and pride and dignity in black folk and a way to gel the community together. So he used that music at Manassas High School to bring the community together. He got the parents involved in investing in their kids to pay for the lessons and for the instruments. He started jazz studies just by playing the old Victrola with
Louis Armstrong and Jelly Roll Moore and then Bessie Smith and all them jazzy hip cats.
So this brother did that, left Manassas back in 1930. 4 years later, they the house band, the Cotton Club, after Duke Ellington and Cab Calloway. They the number one attraction at the Apollo Theater for a whole decade. Think about all the great acts that came out during that era. They the number one attraction. They the number one dance band in the land for black people, called the Harlem Express, because black folks loved them so much because that distinctive two beat they had. They were more popular than Duke Ellington and Cab Calloway and Count Basie. But the thing about Jimmie Lunceford, he died at 45. Basie and them lived in their 70s. I think Cab made it to 80 something. So it's a longevity thing. It's not just a now thing, it's about staying power. And it's a crime that a person who loved black folks this much is forgotten by black folk. It's a crime against humanity. Because Jimmie Lunceford, like Nat D. Williams said, he could have lived anywhere. He could have lived anywhere, but he wanted to be among his people. He lived in Strivers Row up in Harlem. He lived in White Plains, New York, where he was next door neighbors with the Nicholas brothers and the Right Reverend Adam Clayton Powell Jr., our greatest congressman we ever had. And his wife, Hazel Scott, the phenomenal black woman known as Hazel Scott. Get your Google out, take a look, it's all online. That's who his people were. He loved his people. And for his people to forget him, when he would come back to Memphis, sold out church auditorium, first thing you do, go to Manassas, do a free concert, do some musician clinics, all that stuff. Mr. Emerson Abel Jr., arguably the greatest high school band director we ever produced, prodigy of Jimmie Lunceford, because Jimmie Lunceford used to have them musician clinics, and Mr. Abel was a part of Manassas Rhythm Bombers. And he said, it was just one guy named Joe Thomas. It's tenor saxophone, Joe Thomas. You know that, Mr. Abel like the cursing. I can't say all this stuff. I mean, you know that motherfucker had the sound. It's like, damn, man, he had the sound, man. Little peanut head dude. Mr. Abel was so talented. But that dude made a phenomenal impact on Joe Thomas because Jimmie Lunceford brought that man to be accessible to him. And Mr. Abel had a brilliant tenor sound. May he rest in heaven, or wherever he is, may he rest. Also founder of the Southern Heritage Classic. People don't know about that story. The people from Manassas know. But anyway, I say all this to say, I think our sound is good, right? Mr. Sound Man, we good? Huh? I want to get the young people up here. We good? Okay. That's why I talk about Jimmie Lunceford. He gave back to the young people. See, I'm trying to tie all this up into a nice little package, even though it's Mercury retrograde. I'm trying to tie this up. Okay. Give a shout out to Dr. Steve Lee and the Memphis Jazz Workshop. Y'all give him a round of hand. He is doing the work of Jimmie Lunceford by investing in these young people, and they are going to bless us with their rhythm. Okay, they're playing. Actually, this is a thing from 1936 that Jimmie Lunceford did, a short, 10 minutes long, but it gives you an idea of how great he was. But I don't want to play that right now, though. I want to get these young people a chance to shine because they're trying to get home before it's dark, before the street lights go out. Go out by 9 o'clock, but y'all good. We should. Thank y'all, Memphis Jazz Workshop, Dr. Steve Lee. I feel like y'all be like Art Blakey and the jazz messages up in here, man. Okay, go ahead.
there, everyone. That was our first tune, Solar by Miles Davis. We are the Memphis Jazz Workshop. I'm going to go ahead and introduce the band real quick. We have DeAndre Diener on organ. We have Kenneth Reed here on alto. Reginald Owens on set. And yours truly, Josh Sims on tenor. And our next tune will be Lose Blues by Lou Donaldson. Right on. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Finish coming on
All right.
We'll let him take the bridge.
All right. Bridge together.
Y'all sound good. Oh, that my flute horn is right there.
I'm scared now.
Don't strike him, Lord. All right, he's scared. I'm scared being up here with y'all now. Ready?
Yeah.
Team.
You can come in whenever.
Ready?
Are we not playing?
Oh, okay. I thought y'all were playing.
You play the bridge.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, man. Oh, what y'all gonna play, man?
Speak low. Speak low. Yeah. I'll just put it.
I mean, I know what to do.
Oh no, I'm sure you do. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Do you want to get in the mic for the background?
No, I'm straight.
Barefoot man. When you started off, I started off.
One, two.
Yeah, man. You got that Jimmie strip thing.
Give it up once again for the Memphis Jazz Workshop. Yeah. Hello? Okay. I think I hear me now. Speaking of brass trumpet greatness, Mr. Collier, you got to come back up here, man. Memphis got a great trumpet tradition that's not acknowledged like it should be in terms of the jazz. Yeah, we need some water. Yeah, bottled water. It's inside. Okay, thank you. Give him a bottle of water. With that muddy, with a Holland Wolf song, asked for water, gave me gasoline. She gave me gasoline. Asked for water, she gave me gasoline. Crazy love. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna honor, like we talked about earlier, Miles Davis was very impressed with the musicians that came out of Memphis, in particular Manassas High School. He mentioned the great trumpet player Booker Little. Booker Little was like, Clifford Brown, Fess Navarro, this bright burning lights that burned out so quickly, but their impact is felt for generations. You might not know their name, but you can't forget their sound. And I want to honor Sister Grace Little. She is the wife of Larry Little, one of Booker Little's children. Grace, we see you. Thank you for showing up. We appreciate you. She's kind of camera shy. She's camera shy. Yeah, okay. Booker died at 23. He got married and had some kids. And he left a lot of recordings, like Tupac of jazz. He left a lot of recordings behind. He admired Clifford Brown a lot. We lost Clifford Brown at the age of 25 in a horrible car accident with Richie Powell, the little brother of the great Bud Powell. His wife was driving the Pennsylvania Turnpike. They was on their way to Chicago with a gig with Sonny Rollins and Max Roach. Max Roach and Clifford Brown had a band together, Brownie and Roach. They were doing their thing. It's kind of like Charlie Parker and Dizzy Gillespie. They had their special musical connection. And he lost his life at 25. So Booker, from my understanding from the great Charles Lloyd, said he wished it was him that could have sacrificed his life for the life of Clifford Brown. And Booker died at 23. He died 2 years younger than Clifford Brown. And I tell y'all, this Google Booker Little, his trumpet technique, is impeccable. Another great trumpet player in that family is Louis Smith, who just lost his life, I think August of 2016. Louis Smith was actually a professor emeritus at the University of Michigan. He did some albums with Kennebar Adderley, some other people. He was a music educator. That Little family is deep. We're going to talk about Vera Little, his big sister. Vera Little was the first African-American singer to perform for the Pope at the Vatican. This happened on April 4th, 1959. She was an opera star, and we don't even know about her in our own hometown. So, like her brother, Booker Little. But I want to bring behind me a brother who's got a very great sound of his own. Play with everybody. Didn't record with everybody, but play with everybody. He's like one of them guys. Hey, he's a guy. Now, I think people from Japan, they come to Memphis, they know who he is. Cause I be meeting folks from Japan and Germany. They go down to High Rackers. They go down to Beale. They know all the side men. He had a cold that day. That's why he wasn't on there. Oh, he had a cold. How you know? He had a sinus infection. You know all that? Yeah, we know everything. See, we don't know us. This is why we doing this, to understand us. If you know who you are, you know where you can go because you know where you've been. See, they don't teach that at school. It's not on school to teach you who you are. Your folks, your people folks to teach you about the roots of your tree. It ain't on the school. People don't, I didn't learn about Tulsa. I've been knowing about Tulsa over here in my life. The stuff that I learned about Emmett Till, I learned from the elders in my family from Mississippi before I graduated from grade school. I didn't learn about Mega Evans from school. I learned from volunteering with my mom at the Civil Rights Museum when I was 11, 12 years old. Your people got to inform you about who you are and where you stand. And this is why we got to do this work. I keep on saying, I think my voice is okay. Y'all can hear me. Hell, I think y'all can hear me. People, I can't hear you. People get like audio snobs. I can't hear everything. Well, get you better earplugs. I don't know. Get you a better iPhone. Hell, I don't know. It's Mercury retrograde. I'm dealing with it. But what I'm saying is, this is why we got to do this work that we're doing. Like Dick Gregory was a friend of mine. I was friends with Dick Gregory for 6 years. So I was friends with Mr. Abel for about 6 years. Dick Gregory, they cursed me out a lot. So I'm used to adversity because old black MFers cursed me out with love. Big Greg would curse the hell out of me and say, how's the family? I said, what the hell wrong with you, man? How's the family? And then his family tell me, you are part of the family now. He do his worst, but you just on camera when he do it to you. So you gotta understand, like Mr. Abel, when they were throwing horns and books at people, they did it out of love and post-traumatic stress disorder. And, you know, Dr. King said that human salvation lies in the hands of the crazily maladjusted. If you're a brilliant person, you can't be normal. Most brilliant people know they're crazy. That's why Charles Meekins them check themselves in the Bellevue. It's only a so-called crazy person that don't know they're crazy. So without further ado, I want to bring on the one and only. He played with everybody, and we're going to talk about this, but we want to give his tribute. And he got a connection to the book a little that he want to talk about. You know, ain't nothing like it, like ain't no TMZ thing, but I'm just saying, just to make it more relatable, because he died at 23. So without further ado, the one and only brother George Ralph Collier. You can straight up this microphone. I think it worked. I think the microphone loves you and they hate me. Like one of my former girlfriends, I had one.
I don't know whether I want to touch the mic now, you know. Yeah. Today is my birthday. I like cupcakes, but don't try to put 75 candles on a cupcake. It just ain't gonna work. It ain't gonna work. But Book a Little, my mom, you know, grew up in Dixie home and stuff like that. And she said that she used to hear him practice all of the time. And this cat practiced so much that he would practice 1 hour before he go to school. That's one to play some trumpet, you know. And I dated his niece, and I don't owe you anything, do I? Okay, cool, real cool. I got these new quarters now. Oh, okay, there's 2 quarters on a nickel. Okay, then, all right, then that'll work. You know. But anyway, Booker was a heck of a trumpet player. I mean, he was doing things the cats are doing now. He was doing them then. You know, he and Max and all those guys would get together, you know, and George Coleman, you know, they all grew up in the same vicinity, you know, Dixie Home over here, Scutterfield right here, you know, so he had to come from Dixie Home and go through Scutterfield, you know, so, but Mr. Abel and it's just a ton of people that used to practice together. Him, George Coleman, Lucius Coleman, I can't name all them cats, man. Honeymoon, Daddy Goodlow, which is Fred Ford, you know, all them cats used to practice what Mr. Abel used to say. Yeah, man, them motherfuckers, man, used to get together, man. I said, Mr. Abel, you know, I'm too young and crazy. He said, well, just learn, goddammit, you know, you're gonna be all right. So one day, he really cursed me out because I stayed up the street from him and he was gonna give me a ride to school. But little did I know he didn't have any brakes in his car. So when we got to Daisy and Chelsea, Mr. Abel pushed down on it, you know, he looked at me, like, God damn it, put your foot out the door and stop the car, you know. I never forget that, you know, I actually opened the door and stopped the car. But I'm going to, do this tune called Body and Soul. But I'm going to start off with something else. Then I'm going to go into it, okay? Thank you. That tune and another tune, and the hardest tune for me to play. And I retired from the fire department, and for 23 years, I played bugle. So whenever somebody left, they always asked me to play. And that's just so hard. Those simple little notes, da, da, da. You know, it's worse than giant steps, you know. But I played that and had to go through it. And am I through? I can do. I remember Clifford. Do the same thing as I remember Booker. Same thing as I remember y'all. All right. Chop's getting tired.
I know your chops are tired, but I got to do you right. It's your birthday. I hope they can hear me like they can hear you. I mean, I'm just cursed like that. Jeez. I want to present you with this legacy award. You are Jimmie Lunceford Legacy recipient, and you earned this. I'm gonna tell you why. I had to do his background credit check on him on his credentials, man. You know, who you play with, who speak for you, you know. Yeah, I got all the people. I'm gonna say it. I hope they can hear me. I hope they can hear me. Look, first of all, he's a disciple of Mr. Emerson Abel, right there. He hanged out with the Abel man, Emerson Abel Jr. Then he played the Florida A&M Marching 100. He didn't tell me about that until I interrogated him. Had to waterboard him for that. Then let's go. Let's run it down. Pepper Adams, Richard Groove Holmes, Bobby Lavelle, our king. He coming up. The best is yet to come. Calvin Newborn, may he rest in peace. Sidney Kirk, get well soon. Roscoe Gordon, O.V. Wright, Little Johnny Taylor, Lanny McMillan, Phil Joyner, may he rest in honor. Otis Smith, Terry Suffolk, Cecil McDaniels, Herman Green, may he rest in honor. Yeah, Eddie. I mean, it's some other people dead on here, but I'm just saying, you know, recently dead folk. Eddie Pud Daniels, Sylvester Sample, Tony Reedus, Tony Reedus. Sam Crocker, Ruby Wilson. You know who Ruby is, the queen. Tony Green, another queen. The Coasters, RB in the Game, and James Williams. I say all this to say he didn't record with these guys. He played with them on the road and playing gigs and stuff. He's a musician. You understand? He's a musician. And like Charlie Parker said, I hope y'all can hear me at home. To paraphrase Charlie Parker, your music is your life experiences. If you don't live what you play, it won't come out your horn. So you touch a sincere place with me as a fellow horn player, man. You got your style. And I think Booker Little is smiling upon you as well as Clifford Brown. Booker Little was so great that he took the place of his idol, Clifford Brown, in Max Roach's band, along with George Coleman. Go on YouTube, take a look, it's all online. This is why Booker Little should be acknowledged. There's no reason. If you are great at what you do, he was great at what he did. And he basically gave his life for his art. He was great at that. He gave it all. Like I talked to his granddaughter, like the fact he was making these masterpieces when he was in pain, constant pain. He died of Romania, the kidney problems at 23. But yet he left this amazing legacy for ears that can hear and hearts that can receive. Thank you so much, Booker Little. Thank you, George, Lincoln, Ralph Collier. We love you madly. Happy birthday. Okay. I'm gonna take a picture with him. I've been reading what it said. Y'all know what it said, right? The 2021 Jimmie, it's 2021 now. I know it's Mercury retrograde, but he's this year. The 2021 Jimmie Lunceford Legacy Award presented to brother G. Ralph Collier for a life dedicated to excellence in music and music education. Thank you for sharing your gift with us. And I want to take a picture.
I'm gonna say this. Wow. Because I was not expecting this. You know what I'm saying? It's just wow. But right briefly, my mom, I think when my great aunt died, she had a clarinet and a fife and a flute that my grandfather made when he was playing with Jimmie Lunceford. Yeah, I found that out. And this clarinet was a classic, you know, and I was 11 years old and I was a Boy Scout and we went camping down in Sardis, Mississippi. Came back that Sunday and I said, man, I smell barbecue, grandmama cooking. And she had taken the clarinet and the flute, the fife, and broke it up and used it as firewood. And he also played with W.C. Hanley too. But again, I thank everybody, you know, and thank you.
right, we're gonna speaking of, I think this worked. It like I'm just cursed. But Bobby Lavelle, he's our king. He's still alive. He's been waiting patiently, actually. No, I ain't trying to get out now. I'll get in a little bit. No, he's still very much alive. He's very patient. Bobby Lavelle is a fascinating dude. I mean, he, like I said, Memphis is known for their horn, man. We don't get a lot of credit for it, but like, especially in the jazz scene. Like you talk about George Coleman, you talk about Charles Lloyd, you talk about Frank Strozier. I love Sonny Chris. If you don't talk about Sonny Chris enough, Hank Crawford Jr. or Hank Jr. Crawford. But then you got Bobby Lavelle, who's a man with a sound like no other, very talented, a great singer who never got his due. But I know starting today that the best is yet to come. And Bobby Lavelle, is how he's been waiting patiently right now. He's been waiting patiently for his moment. And it is time to shine and hear his sound amplified. But I want to help somebody that knows him best, introduce him, do him proper. Somebody that know him like no other, because it's family. His beautiful sister Rolanda Garner, do the honors, please. She's been waiting patiently too.
I got my notes because I tell you I might forget somebody's name and he won't have that. Good evening, everyone. My name is Rolanda Garner. I'm very honored to be here today to give, to really just recognize and give recognition to a bunch of very special people. Everybody here has been special. First, I'd like to tell you a little bit about Robert. He was born here in Memphis to two parents who both had a musical background. Like many musicians, it all started at church, where his father played the organ and his mother played the piano.
Our father.
Robert, along with his siblings and extended family, pretty much made up the choir. You know how that go. Well, he attended Manassas High School. Like some of the best musicians you already know, he attended Manassas High School, which had one of the best music programs in the city because of Mr. Emerson Abel, who was also a very instrumental in setting Robert on his musical journey. He continued his education at Memphis State University. Robert eventually left Memphis for the Big Apple, where he now resides. He's been very fortunate and blessed to have been able to travel all over the world with the likes of, and play with some of the, the greatest musicians in the world, really, like B.B. King, Cab Calloway, Ray Charles, Jimmy Heath, Slide Hampton. Girl, don't let me forget nobody. Harold Mabin, George Coleman, the Dizzy Gillespie All-Star Big Band, the Duke Ellington Orchestra, and most recently, Ron Carter's Great Big Band. He is an accomplished musician, composer, and arranger. He has his own band now, the Bobby Lavelle Orchestra. And besides that, he's a pretty good brother. Pretty good, I see you. Without further, I want to say this to you, Robert. I love you. I'm proud of you. Congratulations, sweetheart. And without further ado, I'd like to introduce him to you. Mr. Hey, sweetie. Robert Bobby Lavelle Garner.
I don't know if you can hear me. Am I being heard? I need some indication that I'm being heard. Am I being heard now? Hello? Is it? Hello, am I being heard? I am? Someone wave if I am being heard. Thank you very much. I won't take up a lot of time because I know that it's been a long evening, but I do have people that I really want to recognize. I want to recognize all of those who decided that I was I want to thank all the other and congratulate all the honorees first. But then I'd like to thank all those, who felt like that I should be recognized for this consideration and this honor. I appreciate that very much. Ron Hurd and his mother. I want to say something about what has been talked about earlier, and that is that Memphis definitely has made great contributions, to this life and to this music. And whenever I've been in any place in the world and someone asked me where I was from, and when I said from Memphis, they would stop and take a look and would listen. I want to thank particularly my father who gave me my love for music, Bob Honeymoon Garner. Who when I heard the saxophone being played on a record that he played, I said, I want to do that. I didn't even know what a saxophone was at the time. I want to thank my mother who sang songs for me, until I learned the melody, and she helped me to be able to shape music and to have put a personal touch to it. I want to thank Fred Ford who gathered me up and taught me, some of the language of jazz music. And with that, I'd like to mention the name Bill Harvey, because he said, always remember Bill Harvey, because Bill Harvey was the guy who gathered the people in Memphis and taught them about harmony and things like that. I want to thank Mr. A.L.L, who terrorized me for 4 years at Manassas High School, but gave me a foundation in some of the things that I learned under his tutelage I use to this very day. What I have to say that echoes what has been said. There's a lot of history that has been overlooked. We as African Americans in this country have been minimized. Our positive contributions have been minimized, and the few things that we do wrong have been personified. And so I won't go heavy into that. It's not necessary. That's a subject for a different day, but it is part of what we're talking about today. There's so much of what we have contributed to this music, to this life, that is being overlooked. And so we have to go deep to find out, for the contributions that we've made. I'm going to speak a song that I wrote to you first. And I want you to listen carefully to the lyrics as it has become a mantra for me. The song is entitled, Don't Give Up and You Won't Lose. And the lyrics are, don't let nobody change your mind. Don't let them take away your dream. Make your plans for tomorrow and see them through. No one will help you better than you. And don't let nobody close your eyes. Make sure you see the forest, not just the trees. Face each problem as it comes. Stand there tall and don't you run, and don't you give up and you won't lose. Keep telling your mind, somehow in the end it's going to work out fine. Keep telling your mind, all it's going to take is patience and time. Keep telling your mind that all your dreams will come true. It all depends on you. And don't let the heartaches slow you down. Don't be discouraged when things go wrong. Face each problem as it comes. Stand there tall and don't you run, and don't you give up and you won't lose. I wrote that song many, many years ago, but it stands as a mantra for me to it fuels and perpetuates my life. I'm going to play a few things from you. I'm not going to keep you long musically. I'm going to play some things that are just what I call some doodling, some of the language of this music, and then I will finish with the ballad Day by Day. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you. I don't hear anything. I hear anyone.
Robert, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Did you hear me?
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
No. I was quite finished. Did you hear the music? Because I can only hear it here.
Thing came in fine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's my pleasure.
me? Okay, we got an echo. Hello. Can you hear me? Oh, it's delay. It's delay or something. Oh, okay, I got you. It is Mercury retrograde. Y'all look that up. Educate, okay? It's Mercury retrograde. So you thank God it's a miracle that we're here. I got a hole in my foot and we here and I can walk. But you hear that? I forgot to mention Fred Ford. Cause I told I met Jimmy Heath. Man, he rest in peace, man. Jimmy Heath, amazing man. He was a little short thing. He like a Mr. Abel from Philadelphia, about 5'3", maybe 125, maybe. Almost 90 years old when I met him. I met him in his apartment up in Queens. And Jimmy Heath, I spent a couple hours with Jimmy Heath. I asked him about Jimmie Lunceford. What you know about Lunceford? He said, bro, you know what you talking about, but you wasn't there though, but you know a lot about our scene. And cause you know, he had a band with Coltrane, and sometimes Bird would be in that band, you know, and he knew about his sound, but he kept on talking about Gene Ammons. He said, it's the sound, Ron, it's sound. So I met Bobby Lavelle. I said, hey, Bobby, you played with Jimmy Heath, so you was influenced? No, man, Fred Ford. Fred Ford, man, you correct me like on site.
I was involved with Jimmy for more than 20 years, so I was influenced by him too, but for different things. I was influenced by his writing more than anything else. And if you don't know about Jimmy's writing, you really need to find out about it because he wrote a lot of wonderful music. And he also was a great lyricist. He wrote some music and some great lyrics as well. And he just recently died at age 93. And I was involved with the record that he did right before his death. He played right up until the end. Was a wonderful human being, you know, an alive person with an exceptional memory for details.
I'm glad you brought that up because you in that same category. Because I know, Bobby, you talk about the lack of credentials sometimes that shut you out of these so-called institutes of higher learning. You got your credentials playing with the best of the best. And you stood toe to toe and sound to sound with these people. And that's why we're going to honor you today and forevermore. And I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do what I can to make sure that he can have a home where he could teach our people to love ourselves through our sounds. Because that's a sound of love that he has. You know, I'm hearing echoes of Parker and Train and everybody in that sound, echoes of his father. He knew the love of a father, you know, a father who loved his children. You know, you could tell in his siblings how they supportive of each other. I know siblings that don't go to their other siblings' funeral over a fallout, over money or whatever. I know these people. They're not bad people because you don't know what people been through. But the fact you got a black family standing tall and strong and loving and supporting each other in this type of time is a testament to the power of black love and respect for self and knowledge of self. So I'm gonna shut up now. I can talk all day. The sound good. So we present you, long overdue, brother Bobby Lavelle, the 2020 Jimmie Lunceford Legacy Award, and also you are the 2020 Jimmie Lunceford Jamboree Festival Homecoming Court King. Rightfully so.
Thank you very much.
Catered to excellence in music and music education, and now I can shut up and you got it.
Oh no, what am I to play again?
Do what you want, man. Well, the spirit moves you. You want to do a speech, or you speak through your horn, like Charlie Parker said. If you don't live your music, it won't come out your horn. So do what you want.
Well, let's keep it simple for this occasion. As I said, I don't want to keep you a long time.
Give it up once again for the 2020 Homecoming Court King, very much alive and in charge, Brother Bobby Lavelle with the Boss Man sound. Speaking of Black Family Matters, Black families do matter. We got some very distinguished people here, people that we honor in the past. They have showed up very much alive and well, want to bless us. I want to just give a shout out to the Homecoming Court Queens of past years. The first and foremost, Sister Elise Taylor. She was our first one in 2017. She's here. I think I heard Sequita McKinney, Homecoming Court Princess, first year. Sister McKinley, thank you, 2017. Also, I got some more. Brother Ekpe, our king of 2018. He actually played with Sun Ra Orchestra when they came in. That was their first time coming to Memphis. And we lost Danny Ray Thompson last year. And all he wanted was a beef brisket sandwich from Corky's. And they gave him some salad, rabbit food. I don't know. Okay, I ain't gonna talk. But may he rest in peace. But Brother Ekpe sat in on that very historic concert. I mean, it was last minute thing. I love jazz's life. Seize the moment, make an opportunity, and the best is always yet to come. So without further ado, I say Black Family Matters. We got Memphis music royalty in the house. 2019 Homecoming Court Queen, the one and only Sister Carla Thomas, has blessed us. Man, I was listening to Baby on repeat. I just got a new car, let the roof down, listen to Baby on repeat by 2 hours. I can't get enough of that. When you're a classic, you timeless. You forever young. And Sister Carla just got a joyful spirit. I remember when I was a kid, a long time, not a long time, I ain't gonna say, not elementary, right? And she came to our school to speak. And it left an impression on me because you can tell when people care about people. And she invests so much in people. And when you invest a lot in people, you give people the right to let you down. It could be disappointing, but you could be resilient because the ancestors got your back. And she comes from strong people. She came from a father who loved her, who encouraged her. It's like, it's a thing. Black fathers matter. Don't let them tell you otherwise different. It's good to be a man who loves his children. No, we can't get in the world without each other. And we need each other. So it's time when you in doubt, look to people that look like you. Give them the benefit of the doubt sometimes. Don't always slight your brother. Don't always be mad at people for a long period of time because we don't live that long. You think you live 100 could be like, well, in God's eyes, what's 100 years? So-called 100 years, right? So with Sister Carla, regardless, she don't look her struggles or worries. She keep on giving. She keep on giving. That's why her legacy will always be a living one. I just want to present her to come up here and she do what she want to do.
Because he showed up.
Welcome to all of you who survived the epidemic, pandemic, whatever they call it. They done called it a lot of things. But praise be to Almighty God first and foremost. I'm so proud of all of you. I'm so proud to look out and see all of you and see sweet Willie Wine still here with us. Hamilton High, they talk about Manassas, but Hamilton has some folk too now. I'm just very grateful to be here. I'm grateful to see all the smiles and people who have supported me. If it was just a smile, just to say, Carla, hang on in there. Callie, Ron, please just stand and everybody give them a great big round of applause. Hey, woo. You know, it doesn't take a whole lot of people to do something. You remember when the Literacy Council, I used to work with them for over 12 years. I remember when Greenlaw first built their center and started literacy programs over there. And there was this Jewish lady, Nina Katz. She walked up to me one day, she said, you sing and I'm gonna talk. I said, well, can I talk too? So I said, I wanna tell people it was the opening, but she wanted people to know about the Holocaust, and I would sing a song, and I thought about don't give up. I'm hearing this theme over and over and over in my mind. Don't give up. And thank you, Ron, for saying, because no one knows what each of us sitting out there has been through. We got smiles on our face because y'all know we glad we came through. Am I right? So give all of you a hand. And there's a song, I don't know if the young man remembers it. I don't even know if I can sing it, but I've been singing Lo When You Speak Love all week. And when I heard it, I couldn't believe I love that song. One Touch of Venus. That was my brother Marvell and I, one of our favorite movies that we would sit and watch together. That was really remarkable to sit with him and do something together. But when they played, I thought about all the other people that have come through Memphis, that we're like a tree and you have all these branches and then you have the little twigs that have stretched out and the tree just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And for me, I'm so excited about the Garners and Rudy and Fred and everybody. I used to slip down to the double tree when they were playing. Do you remember that? And they would say, come here and sing Masquerade is Over. Because they remember Honeymoon used to play that for me in the Teen Town Singers. So I've been here a good little while on this earth. And even though I went into a ballad type of career, the records that came to our home, some of these things, by the time WDA got really, really big, they were more into the blues. But we heard all of the big bands. They sent all of these things to our home because Daddy was a disc jockey. Plus he had played in the minstrel, Rabbit's Minstrels with Jimmie Lunceford. And sometimes the big bands would come through, Al Jackson Sr. and Tough Green and Al Jackson, Bowlegs. Don't forget, hey, we can't forget Bowlegs. Y'all know, can't nobody forget Bowlegs Miller. And so we would sit in Lores, Alexandria, people that you may not have ever heard of. And my brother would sit and try to figure out these chords. And I think the big bands influenced him at that time more than anything else. So I'm just so proud to hear all the stories, not just the ones my dad told me about when he was young, coming out of Booker, Washington, teaching choreography to the, what was it called? Anybody went to Booker, Washington sitting out there? The ballet. He taught choreography. And I just want to tell you a little story, and then I'm just going to try to sing a little song. But it's called The Glory of Love. That was one of my favorite songs. I heard Lorez Alexandria sing it. I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but she sang a song called Baltimore Oriole and The Glory of Love. But one day we were at a show, and Lorez, we had been listening to her since I was a kid, right? Big band stuff. I can't even remember who she was playing with, who her musicians were. And then I remember before leaving Hamilton, his sister, Roach. What's the young man from Manassas? No, he came out of Manassas, I think, but was his last name Roach? Well, just name some of the other musicians that came out. He's very fair. Way long before that, around George Coleman's time. Lloyd, wasn't he in Nashville? Yeah. The reason I'm saying that his sister would bring records, she taught me art at Hamilton. But now her brother, I'll think of it, of course, after I leave. And that's sad. But she would bring records while we were doing art projects and play all these big band. And I was saying, hey, I've heard that. I mean, I'm like in the 7th grade. But I don't want to take up too much time. I'm just saying that I am so proud to have been a young person hearing all this great music. And I mean, it's a wonder I'm not a jazz singer, because I heard so much of it when I was little. But all the people I knew, A.C. Williams, he was a teacher at Manassas, Muha. And one of the most prized treasures of my existence was, I had always loved Mr. Abel. I've been knowing Mr. Abel. I mean, even though I went to Hamilton, I knew Mr. Abel through the music scene, right? He called me one day on the phone, and there are 2 stories about Mr. Abel. I just want to talk about him because he was special. And I'm so proud that you all recognize people, because special to some people mean they have to be brilliant or some big to do. But special, a lot of times special people hold themselves back, and we have to kind of pull them out little by little. But one day he called me. He had gone from Manassas to Westwood, and the Showboats had started a team here. I don't know if anybody remembers the Showboats. This man had written an arrangement for the Star Spangled Banner that you all wouldn't believe. All those. And he said, I want you to come over and practice. I want you to do the opening with us. I said, oh, okay, I'll do the Star Spangled Banner. I heard that arrangement. I said, I'm not singing to that. The introduction would have made you just go somewhere and sit down. He said, you're going to come in right after that. He had this where you just hold it, suspension. Like that. And I was supposed to come in, oh, and I was about to faint. To hear these kids play like that, that's what was doing it. And in the middle part, it was just so wonderful. So we established, after I had just come back from LA, we established just a wonderful working relationship. I love Mr. Abel so much. And then one day, that's when we had a real good, Egg people will probably remember this, when we had a great musicians union. Anybody remember those days? When somebody would call you and say, hey, we want you to come play at this. You would be good for this. And I learned all this a lot through my dad and my brother and people that they played with, that there was an actual musicians union operating to help musicians here. I don't know if we really have that anymore. But anyway, this man called me. Ray Charles was coming from Memphis in May. And he says, Ray is cutting up on the bus because somebody had called him. He's coming from New York and told him he couldn't use, but how many musicians he had, they had to use the same amount of musicians here. And I was glad to hear all this. He said, look, do you know anybody who could, we need a second trumpet. We need a trombone. We need a flugelhorn or something that he wanted to play. So I was saying, I don't know. I wanted to suggest my brother, but I was saying, I don't know where he is. So I said, Emerson Abel, you call Emerson Abel, he'll have all that composed for you. And I was so excited the day Ray came, it was pouring down raining. People all in the mud waiting for Ray Charles. And I was so excited. I was sitting out there with my umbrella, these big old boots, waiting myself. And when I saw Emerson Abel walk out and pass out the books, it just did my heart good. And I know he's gone on and he's playing in that great orchestra in the sky, but I want you all to just give him a wonderful, because I know he stayed here a lot for these kids. And if he had been somewhere else, I don't know. We would have seen him like Doc Severinsen or on some of these shows just like that. Went to Marsalis and the Marsalises and all these people, they give homage and honor to. And there's another gentleman that worked with Isaac and me. I don't know if you've ever given him an award yet. Anzi Horn did my first book on Gee Whiz. Actually, Gee Whiz only had about 5 people on it. And we only had 4 tracks down there at Satellite, which later became Stax. But the background had to stand behind me and sing William Bell, who later became, so many people after that. But I got a job at the Apollo, and I was a nervous wreck. I had heard about all these people, Lena Horne and Cap Calloway, and when I was a little girl, so how do I fit in that? So they sent a list of what I needed. And I said, these people weren't on this, these people were not on this record. I only had piano, upright bass, Herky McGee. Anybody remember Herky? Miss McGee was my 3rd grade teacher over at Lutheran Cooperative, right behind, people don't remember Lutheran Cooperative, but I went to a Lutheran school. Annie Carmen McGee, Brownie McGee, who was the teacher, right? He became a doctor right up here at the corner of Crump and 3rd. You know that place? His mother taught me in the 3rd grade. They all were gifted, all these Hamptons. And there was so much music. And even in South Memphis, there was good talent coming out of there. But I'm just excited to be here. So if I get all out of breath and excited, just know that I'm happy to be alive. And to see these young people up here is just really exciting to me, and to know that people care about Memphis. So the Paretta Italy Rufus Thomas Park was dedicated to my father, I think around right before 2000, because my father was one of the first people that trusted in him. He said, I don't have any money. I love soul music. I love Memphis music. Would you come over? We're going to have a festival. It started just like that. And Daddy went. After that, 2 years later, they cut the ribbon and deemed it Rufus Thomas Park. Ever since then, Ruby Wilson, Blackfoot, Jay Blackfoot, all these people, and me included, were able to come. And now, years later, the Academy kids were able to go with Kirk Whalum. And so there's so much coming out of Memphis, and these little branches are going to be reaching out, and we'll still be here to give them wonderful, wonderful words of advice. Like he said, don't give up, and you sure can't lose if you just don't give up. And I'm going to sing one of the first songs I learned. At least I'm going to try to. Okay. You know, I got to do what Lance said. Y'all know that. Y'all don't know who Lance is. Yeah. Yeah, why don't you stand up too, in the wine? You've been around on this earth for a long time yourself. I love you, man. Love you. And let me tell you another story, and then I'm through, about this man. When I first came back, he was down there. You know where Elaine and all of them's office is down there. He was in there. Mr. Withers' office was down there for a while, wasn't it? So I had a big hole in the street down there on Tree, and they weren't fixing it. I don't know if you even remember that. And I went to holler at Mr. Withers, and you were standing there talking about, you know what? You know I ain't got no money. You need to print me up some whole bunch of, so I can pass all these posts out so somebody fix that hole down there on the Tree. I mean, I hadn't seen him since Hamilton, but I said, well, how much is it? I don't know if you remember that. And we got it settled right there. And you passed all those posts, those little flyers out. And eventually, it don't take but one. And somebody sharing your vision, you know, to look on you and say, that sounds all right. So you keep up the good work too. You looking better than ever yourself. I just want to give you myself. Yeah, you from South Memphis. Well, that was a song. That's a lot of them that I sang. Like last time I was here a couple of years or so ago, I did something about Johnny Ace. Yeah. And I happened to be around. Now, you know about how old I am. Ooh. But that was a song that I really, really like. And it says, you've got to give a little, take a little, and let your poor heart break a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of the love. Whoa, you got to win a little, lose a little, and let your poor heart have the blues a little. That's the glory of, that's the glory of love. As long as there's the two of us, we'll have this world and all of its charm. But when this old world is through with us, we'll have each mother's arms. You got to laugh a little. You gotta cry a little. But you know that the clouds are gonna run by a little. That's the story of, that's the glory of love, story of love, the glory of love. Well, that's it.
Queen Carla Thomas, give it up once again, please. Okay. I can see daylight is coming together. Okay, good. The chicken man was out there, but I didn't know the chicken man. See, I mean, black folks love chicken. We would have brought out the chicken. We knew he was out there. It's Mercury retrograde, I'm telling you. But anyway, speaking of divas, we're going to honor our posthumous homecoming court queen, rightfully so, Vera Little. This Little family is amazing. Are they related to Malcolm Little by any chance? Oh, no, Little? Okay, no, I'm talking about, I know Malcolm X, right? He was little too. Yeah, I don't know. It's something about Browns and Littles. They kind of interesting people. You don't mess with Littles and Browns. I mean, hey, they got something for you. But Vera Little is somebody that got to be put back in our history narrative of the greatness of Memphis music and the genius of Memphis music, because Vera Little, if she just did the one thing, which was to sing at the Vatican, the first African-American black musician singer to perform at the Vatican. And she did that on April 4th, I believe, 1959. And we know about April 4th, 1968. Sometimes in April. April is an interesting month for things with black people, but she was a paradigm shifter, a game changer, and it's only right that we honor her in her hometown. A prophet is always without honor in their hometown among family and friends. It's very biblical. So she had to go across the pond to get the respect that she got at home. But it deals with black family matters. He came from a very strong rooted family that believed in education and also in excellence. So I want to get people up here that could tell us and sing some things about Vera Little for us. Sister Paula Newberry. I asked around, I would ask musicians, this is interesting. I said, hey, y'all know any opera singers? No, man, in New York City we do. I said, this is Memphis though. I'm talking about opera singers and stuff in Memphis. And I just Googled her up and I found her information. I contacted her and she contacted me back. Come to find out that she was a student of Vera Little when she was brought here back in 2003 to teach master classes at Lamont Orange. She'll tell you all the story. I'm gonna let her tell it. She tells better than I do. But Paula Newberry, and after that, we're gonna have a tribute with Sister Brinson. You know, so we're gonna do it right for Vera Little. Thank you. And also, it's her birthday. It's something about June the 6th and Black excellence. It's her birthday today.
Hi, everybody. I'm short, by the way. Yes, this is good. Okay. I started training in opera when I was maybe 12. I sang a song called Trees at Unity Center of Memphis. And the person who inspired me was actually Naomi Moody. I wish she was here. And so I trained with a person by the name of, and she's gone on to heaven, is Sharon Dobbins. Has anyone heard of Sharon? Okay, I was her first voice student. When Miss Little came here, my teacher at the time was Professor Clyde Battles at Lemoyne. He told me, you gotta come and do a master class. At the time, I was kind of depressed because you don't get very many opportunities in opera here in Memphis, which is the reason why I went away to school. I went to Oberlin Conservatory of Music, and then I got a second bachelor's at Lemoyne. Anyway, Mr. Battles says, please come and take this master class with Miss Little. She helped me, I gotta tell you, she helped me so much with my technique and my voice and my breath support. I cannot even tell you. And she was so down to earth. And that really eased my nerves, because some master classes that you go to, you feel you're all like this because you don't know how they're feeling about you. You don't know, you just don't know. But she was very helpful for me. I wish I had stayed in contact with her. I believe she was along the lines with Grace Bumbry, who I also had a master class with. I got a chance to go over to Salzburg in Austria and study with Grace. Okay, so this is the kicker here. Here recently, last month, I had a bad sinus infection, went in my lymph nodes and my voice. So I am on vocal rest tonight. If you would like to hear me, you can go to my website. I don't want to present myself in that fashion tonight, but you can go to my website. It's sopranossinger.com, and you'll see me with the symphony and everything. Does anybody have any questions? And Valetta is actually a really good friend of mine, as well as I'd like to recognize Miss Ting Ting Yao. Ting Ting is a classical pianist who has about 3 master's degrees, and she plays for everybody. So that's my story, and that's it. And it's my birthday today. operasopranossinger.com. Just put in Paula Newberry and then put soprano. Mm-hmm. You're welcome.
Thank you, Sister Paula Newberry. Happy birthday once again. That's how, when you know you're working in the right spirit. I know I call them the righteous ancestors. They told me, Ron, if you do right by us, we'll take care of you. Even though you got a hole in your foot, we still take care of you, see? And just a quick Google search found this woman who actually knew Vera Little and took a master class from her in Memphis, in her hometown. And Vera Little died, I believe, in 2012. But she was a very multi-talented, multifaceted woman. She could act, she wrote stories, short stories, as well as did poetry. So she's very much an intellectual as well as a creative. So with that said, Valetta Brinson, I mean, you working in the right spirit, on the right path. This sister is phenomenal, man. She did a mic check and she blew out the speakers to me. It was incredible. And she just came out the rain and just started singing. I was like, wow, she didn't even have to warm up or anything. So I just want to introduce her because she came on short notice as well. Like when you're doing things in the right spirit, you may not think you're getting the right results, but that's the way the universe works on you to get there. Like Baba Dick Greg would talk about the callus on my soul, or how, in order to wash your clothes, you need to agitate. Agitate. You need to do things. For every action, there's a reaction. So my thing is, it's a marathon. And people say, well, no, Jimmie Lunceford, who? Don't be surprised if the airport is named after Jimmie Lunceford one day. Don't be surprised they teaching who we are in these books one day. So without that, we got to hear these voices, and the ancestors are working through the people. So without further ado, Sister Valetta Brinson, do your thing. Thank you. I'm gonna shut up.
That's fine. Hello, everyone. I just want to say that I'm a professor at Southwest Tennessee Community College, but I got schooled today. I learned so much. If I could have something like this every day, I would be there. And just like you said, it's up to our ancestors to let us know about things. I have a 94-year-old grandmother, and I didn't know anything about a hippodrome until she said something about it. And I didn't know anything about Vera Little until yesterday. And that upset me. So I have a lot of work to do, teaching music history and not knowing that. So I got work to do. So I'm going to sing for you in honor of Miss Little, Ach, ich fühl's, and that means I feel it. And it is from Die Zauberflöte by Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. And that's actually where I met Paula Newberry when we did it together at Opera Memphis. So Pamina is upset with her boyfriend because he's going through an initiation and he can't speak to her at the moment. And so she's all distraught and thinks that he doesn't love her anymore. So she's just having a fit. So that's pretty much what this aria is about.
First du nicht
Thank you.
Now you know that Memphis got some opera singers. They look like you. Thank you, Sister Valetta Brinson and Sister Paula Newberry. Happy birthday once again. So we winding down. We got the homecoming court queen, Joyce Cobb. She wasn't able to make it today, schedule whatever things happening, but we still want to give her a tribute. I don't know if we got the video ready, but we have the first queen, Sister Elise Taylor, here with us, patiently waiting to share the word. I want to say I owe her a video testimony. Let me make this part of my video testimony. I met Sister Elise. I came aware of her back in 2012, working on a Jimmie Lunceford project, a Manassas project to honor Mr. A.L.L. as well as Mr. Lunceford. When he got his brass note, that was Mr. Emerson A.L.L. back in 2012. And Elise was truly beyond category, and ever since the word, a brilliant voice. I think she's self-taught. I mean, I think she got that voice from God. It's a gift from God, and she shared that gift and amplified throughout the community, instilling pride in our young people and the children, and really caring about Memphis folk. But also, it's so much to her. I mean, she's a multifaceted person. I'm always learning more things about her, and she's just a good person. I mean, she just got a good vibe about her, and you could tell she was raised right, and she got her own moral code and compass on point. Always fun to talk to, very colorful, beautiful woman inside and out, and I'm just thankful that I was able to meet her working on stuff with Mr. A.L.L. And like you work with our people, a lot of times people don't understand the frustration of a Charlie Parker or an Emerson A.L. Jr. or any of us who are brilliant and we're being denied because we're not seeing as full human beings. Like you think about Black Wall Street and stuff like that happened, and we had over 600 businesses and accountants and lawyers and doctors and professional people in Black Wall Street. Every time they take something away from us, we always building. Like I was listening to this story about Zion Church in Greenwood, and they got burned. Everything got burned down in Black Wall Street. All 35 city blocks. Them folks had to rebuild. They get 1 red cent from the government or from the insurance company. This church, this white man told this story. This is from 92. He said, "Look, man, church saying Zion Church, and they took out a 20-year mortgage, and they lost everything. But guess what? They still paid their mortgage and took on another 20-year mortgage and paid that off. What type of people are we that we could take nothing and make it to something? We are the alchemists of humanity. We are the parents of civilization. We could do what we want to do, but we've been limited in what we could do. Jimmie Lunceford had no money when he started music education at Manassas. Took his best high school students and had the greatest swing band of his time. Blacks and whites wanted that sound. Man knew no limitations. This man came out of Mississippi, and his folks own land to this day down in Evergreen, outside of Fulton. The folks own land. He came from land owning black folks with backbone, with character. People that I knew that knew Mr. Lunceford from Manassas and from his playing days said nothing but great things about him. I met two of his living nephews, one on his wife's side and the other on his side, and they said nothing but great things about their uncle. You know, taking him around in his airplanes, or they ride in the back of his Harley Davidson while he's speeding through the White Plains neighborhood he lived in. And, you know, they was talking about that. He was like, you know, I talked to Gerald Wilson, may he rest in honor, from Shelby, Mississippi, who grew up in Detroit and played with Lunceford starting when he was 18 or 19 years old, that this man, he was a Gemini. So he had a lot of, he had a side to him, but he was professional. And like with Catherine Parrish Thomas, may she rest in peace, Manassas class of 32, she told me, when them boys graduated from Manassas, it was like a rite of passage. They were men. They weren't boys, they were men. He was raising men. And we need black masculinity to rise once again, because this is ridiculous. We need that now. And black men, we males, we gotta choose to be men now. It's a time and place for everything. You gotta be willing to, like Dr. King said it best. What have you thought about Dr. King's philosophy? He said, a man ain't willing to die for anything he ain't fit to live. Put your life on the line for something that's bigger than you, that will pay out for generations to come. There's no sense to let yourself be slaughtered, to be used as guinea pigs and clay pigeons for this BS. Okay, let's talk about, Joyce Cobb, right? I'm sorry. Carla Thomas opened up the Pandora's box over here. I won't blame Carla on that one. But Joyce Cobb, I'm gonna tell you something about her. I think it's fascinating about Sister Joyce Cobb. Like Sister Jackie Murray, she's not from her, but she's from her. You know, she's Nashville raised, but she's from here. She's rooted in here. Her versatility, you know, way she played the harmonica, way she sing, she knows the American songbook in and out. And to me, she's a treasure. I mean, I know she had a club on Beale Street, and you know, we talked about the politics of all that stuff, but they always using us as cover for their schemes and their plans. We got to stop letting ourselves be utilized like that and know that we got a place bigger than what's designed by them for us. So we got to on our own and lift them up and then hold ourselves accountable for knowing our people. Because this is ridiculous that the people that love us, we don't even desire to know. So with that said, Elise Taylor, you are truly beyond category. You're a beautiful, wonderful person. And we look forward to you blessing us as the first homecoming court queen from 2017, Sister Elise Taylor. Yeah, I want to bring it down to you. Oh, it sounds loud. That was loud.
Hello. Excuse me, but I had a Humpty Dumpty fall. So I got trouble with losing gravity. Gravity's pulling me down to the ground. So I'm going to sit up here and sing a little bit for you. Hey, Carla, cut it out. I lost my voice 1.5 years ago. So this is my second time even trying it, okay? So. All of me, why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? Take my lips, I want to lose them. Take my arms, I'll never use them. Your goodbye
left me with eyes that cry. How can I go on, dear, without you? You took the part that once was my heart, so why not take all of me? All of me. Why not take all of me? Can't you see I'm no good without you? You took the part that once was my heart, so why not take all of me? So why not take all of me?
Yeah, I will. It's awesome, man. Never let me down. Never disappointed. Yeah. Oh, you want a picture? Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
All right. I'm Ken Hall with the Beale Street Brass Note Walk of Fame Committee, joined by my colleagues Mike Glenn and John Bass, as we have a wonderful opportunity here to remind everybody in the entire world that Memphis, Tennessee is a jazz town. That's right. And Manassas High School is a treasure for Memphis, Tennessee. Manassas that gave us Jimmie Lunceford and Emerson Abel, and a man named Booker Little. If you will remember, a trumpet player who worked on a different level, that came from Memphis, Tennessee, that went to New York and around the world, played with Sonny Rollins, played with so many people, and was in jazz when jazz got pretty doggone interesting in some of the hard bop days and some of the experimental days. Died way too young, but Booker Little is who we will honor tonight with the 148th note in the Beale Street Brass Note Walk of Fame. Let's hear from Booker Little. Absolutely. It's a great opportunity because people come from around the world to Beale Street. Any tourist that drives in or gets off an airplane and you ask them, there's a 50-50 chance it's Grayson, there's a 50-50 chance it's Beale Street. And Beale is a hotbed of every kind of music. We know what it looks like today. Many of you may remember what it looked like a long time ago when you really had some jazz and blues down there in a bigger way than we do. What we've got today is this Walk of Fame with 147, soon to be 48 notes. And you go to BealeStreet.com and people from all over the world can learn about not only Carl Perkins and Elvis, good people, but also about Jimmie Lunceford and Reverend Herbert Brewster. Yeah. Absolutely. We have such a rich musical history down in this town and on Beale. And you walk up and down and you see the names, you see the Newberry family, right? We need to celebrate jazz, we need to celebrate blues, we need to celebrate all of it. And this Walk of Fame and the website that gives the biographies is a good way to do that. John Bass is around here somewhere, and John Bass is another treasure because he connects so much of the music from the past to the history with performances like tonight. I really appreciate what you did with the Rhodes Band tonight, hearing some Jimmie Lunceford live. I don't get to hear it enough. And we'd love to have John to say a word about Booker.
Thank you, Kim. It really is an honor to be here as a part of this ceremony. One of the things was important when Mike Kirk gave the gift to the college to endow the program was to research some of these under-researched and underappreciated aspects of Memphis music. And they put a jazz musician in charge of the Curve Institute. So I said, well, I know some things that are under research and that we should celebrate some more. But it's been just a wonderful, wonderful work. The Curve Institute sponsored Charles Lloyd's Beale Street Brass Note a few years ago when he was in town. We were honored to be a part of that. And we're so honored to be a part of this. Booker Little was such an amazing musician who died the idea of what he did while he was alive and died at 23 is just astounding. But I think I'd like to welcome Charles Lloyd, who can talk about Booker Little much better than I can. So please welcome our guest Charles Lloyd to the stage to talk about Booker Little.
Thank you. It's a great honor to be here. And how about a hand to John Bass and the beautiful work that he's doing over at Rhodes and his orchestra. It's a beautiful thing to have happen. I don't know what happened with the weather, you know. He came out though. It's a beautiful thing. And my lifelong friend, Louis Polk Steinberg, is here, and relatives are here from all over, and it's very touching. The thing about Booker Little, he was such a genius, and he was my best friend in high school. I went to Manassas from 52 through 56, and I graduated. He graduated a year before me, and when I matriculated to New York finally in 1960, there was Booker, and I stayed with him for 6 months, and he was a great mentor to me. And he actually was a realized soul. He knew what was going on with the universe and the nature of being here. And I'm so thrilled that the brass nut will be happening for him. So that's a beautiful thing happening. And my first mentor here was Phineas Newborn Jr. And yes, of course, I'm also praying one day we'll be able to have a statue for Phineas somewhere around here, because he was our J.S. Bach, and he did so much for all of humanity. And so Memphis also lives in me, and it's such a rich heritage that we come from, and all these great musicians. So I can't say enough for what it has done for my humble life. And I travel all around the world, and Memphis is deep in me, and God bless, and thank you for coming out.
All right, let's unveil. Miss L, will you come up and grab the corner? Mike, John. All right, Mr. Lloyd, grab a piece of this. 1, 2, 3. Booker Little, ladies and gentlemen, 148 brass notes. Thank you so much. Everybody that supports jazz in Memphis, Tennessee. Now we're going to get ready for our great show.
That was in front of your face.
Cut it off. That was the brass note ceremony from 2015, and it was interesting. That took place October 2015. Charles Lloyd, jazz spirit from Memphis. Charles Lloyd took a hiatus from Memphis because the last time he played in Memphis before Rhodes, Mike Curb Institute, Dr. John Bass brought him back was 1964 as a sideman with Cannonball Adderley. So they had to wait decades to come back to Memphis in 2012 to play. Then he played several other gigs in Memphis since that time. One of this being the 2015 thing. So my thing was, I wondering, did Booker Little have any people out there that was family that could have went to that thing? Okay, the answer is yes, but they wasn't able to find people. But my thing is, we got to connect ourselves with our people, connect ourselves back to our stories, and that's why I do what I do, and this is why it's important that y'all support these things. I thank y'all for spending time, because you can't get time back. There's no refund on time. So thank y'all for hanging out with us and spending time. And you got that. I guess we got to give Joyce Cobb her due a little bit. I got one song of her she did at the reopening of WC Handy House. Is that available to play? I guess not. I don't know. Yeah, the St. Louis Blues she had. So I just want to give George Copper due because she is the queen, and y'all can probably, we can end it with Jimmie Lunceford, but y'all go ahead and do what you gotta do, because y'all can find the Jimmie Lunceford clip that just know is available. Don't even worry about it, it's Mercury retrograde. But let's play the Jimmie Lunceford clip and we just close it out. And thank y'all so much. I want to thank the volunteers for hanging out with us and doing their job. Thank you all for showing up, the honorees. Thank this venue, Reverend Monroe, for holding it together like MacGyver, pulling us through. Oh, wait a minute. Is Bobby Lavelle, is he here still? Bobby Lavelle. Can y'all get him back on? Is it possible to get him back on? He want to say a few words of thanks. I'm glad he
Yes, I'm still here. Can you hear me?
No, thank you, man. Good. Okay, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to first of all thank the audience, for hanging in. I know what time you got there, and you've been there, and I wanted to recognize a couple of your educators, Stephen Lee, and Paul McKinney, who continue to teach this music to children. And I also want to say hello to Ralph Collier, who champions the music. And this is a very important music. This is a jazz art form of music that has its origin in Black people. It's our music. We came up with this concept and we are very proud of it. And we as a community, we have to understand that it is a very important contribution to the entire world. So it's been a long afternoon, and I thank you for hanging in there. But you're probably the people who don't need to hear this, but share it with someone who doesn't quite understand what's going on here. And kudos again to you, Ron, for your efforts, with celebrating the efforts of Black people. Thank you.
Thank you, brother Bobby Lavelle, and the words Duke Elton. We love you, Matley. So we can close out with Mr. Lunceford. I think it's rightfully so. This clip was from 1936, about 10 minutes long, but it's full of joy. He was prime time before it was prime time. He was made for TV, but unfortunately he died decades too early, too soon. But what's interesting about Mr. Lunceford, he was great at using radio to promote himself. Like when he was the band at the Cotton Club, they would use CBS radio to broadcast him live throughout the country. So cats like Quincy Jones and Horace Silver and some more Miles Davis. I mean, Miles Davis still keep on getting, because his hero growing up was Jimmie Lunceford, listening to him on the radio in East St. Louis, broadcasting from the Cotton Club. So it's something about the Memphis thing. But just give an idea of this band. It's like the greatest show on earth. I mean, it was amazing. I'm gonna get the way they did, comedy, they danced, they did everything. They threw their trumpets up in the air and catch them when they left off and then played. They were probably one of the first bands to wear tailor-made suits, the Zoot suits. They integrated the Paramount Theater. Gerald Wilson told me that, and we integrated Paramount Theater, not Count Basie, not Duke. It was the Lunceford Orchestra. That's the place that introduced Frank Sinatra to the world. So let's get an idea. And the guy who directed this was the guy who played Abraham Lincoln in the movie Birth of a Nation, which led to the resurrection of the Klan. Because Woodrow Wilson said it was like writing history with lightning. Because he went to school for a guy named Thomas Dixon, who wrote the book The Klansman, which was the inspiration for the movie. So it's interesting. But check out, this is 1936. Some of these guys are people he had from Manassas High School, like his bass players and his drummer and stuff. These are Black kids from North Memphis, under Jimmie Lunceford tutelage. They went to the heights of musical eminence. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. Thank y'all so much. Check it out.